There's a signature. I am currently under Douglas County. I also graduated from High School. The attorney, oh, that guy, yeah. Well, I'm sorry to say, go on.
I'm not worried about it.
You have an extra one? Are you sure? Yes. Okay, it's not right here. Okay.
Who are you appointing to the airport authority?
One person in the
He doesn't have any other job.
No, it's a real one. It's not an appointment. It's a
All right.
No, he does not.
All right.
I have 7 o'clock. Call to order. A roll call.
Friesland,
Here.
Jacob. Here. Mason. Here. Purdy.
Here.
Shook.
Here.
Watts.
Here.
Bennett.
Here.
Clayton.
Here.
Corey. Here. Doty.
Here.
Gabby.
Here.
Cox.
Here. Mr. Dowdy, would you lead us in invocation?
Heavenly Father, we thank you today that we can come together once again. We pray, Lord, that we do your will and good toward all men, all people of this county. Today, Lord, we pray a special blessing for all those who are employed by the county and our first responders, that you be with them during this season. And Lord, we pray that we're productive and honest in this place tonight. We pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Moment of silent reflection, please. Join me in pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment, might remind you of 3 minutes. I'll start at the top of the list here, Mr. Donasso.
So I've kind of waited a long time for this, even though it's not quite finished. I'm sure I'll be back in the next month to finish up what I have to say. Depositions started in our case against the county. And by the way, some of the things I'm going to say don't apply to some people, newer people that are on the board, obviously Julie's office, Lisa, but to the rest of you it does apply. At depositions, and it's amazing how the stories change when people are under deposition. We've been coming here for years saying certain things. I'm not going to repeat all of them. A lot of them have to do with Bob Becker, about some of the things that have happened with the taxes, and lo and behold, what happens when they go under deposition? They squeal like little pigs. That's what they do. I've said before that I can't wait till depositions come because I want to see who the first one is going to lie under oath. You have wasted thousands and thousands of dollars of taxpayer money only to find out that we were right the whole time. The whole time. Thousands of dollars of our taxpayer money against us because you wouldn't admit that you were wrong. And some of you that have been on the board for this whole time, Shook, Nancy Purdy, some of you other ones, Dowdy, all you guys, there's no way you didn't know what was going on. All the meetings we've been to, all the things we said, there's no way you knew that none of this was going on. So I can't wait to bring some of the statements next time of what some of your colleagues and former colleagues here on the board said in the depositions. Because you know what it means? Liars! And you wasted our money, and there should be consequences for this. And I don't want to hear from you. It's my time, don't interrupt me. I don't want to hear from you. You've been here at every meeting. If you've been to every meeting, you damn well should know what was going on. And if you don't, then you got wax in your ears or there's something wrong. No, it's my time. I'm reclaiming my time. No,
in this meeting.
I'm not cussing.
You just did.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I said damn, like you never said that before, Daryl.
One more word like
Okay.
that.
Well, you know what? Then why don't you guys resign? The ones who knew what was going on the whole time, wasted our money, used our money against us only because you knew we were right the whole time, and you tried to cover it up. Instead of just admitting you were wrong and starting over and working with us. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. And that shows you the character of some people on this board. Nancy Purdy, I remember you saying to me in a meeting several months ago, probably a couple years, I just don't believe you.
I didn't.
Yeah, yes, you did say that it's on video. Guess what? I'm going to bring it next time because you just lied again. Typical of this board. Okay? You want to see it? I'll show it to you. It's on video. I don't believe you. I had an easel up here. I was talking. I said, how can you not believe what I'm saying? How can you not believe it? I just don't believe you. Well, maybe you'll believe your colleagues under oath who admit the same things that we were saying that denied in this very room to us. They lied in a public meeting to the public, to the people here in the gallery, and you guys think that's acceptable, and it's not, and we're going to hold you accountable. Okay? So maybe you'll believe me then. All right? Maybe you'll believe me then. And you can't sit here and tell me that you didn't know after all the years you've been
Your
sitting
time's
here.
up, Mr. Donaso.
You know, to be continued.
Mr. Stoddard.
Yeah, okay. Got a question and maybe a comment here. Mr. Cox, I always enjoyed having public comment after all of our reps deliberated. You said you made that decision,
Correct.
but then you said we made that decision.
I make the decision.
Is there any way you could change that? And go
Could I
back
or
to the
would
old?
I?
Huh?
Could I or would I?
Well, both.
I'm not going to change it at this point.
Okay. What would cause you to change it?
I don't know.
I see. Well, here's a thought. There's two sides to the coin when it comes to representative government, freedom and liberty. One of them is the power to speak and talk about things. The other one is the right, I should say, the power and the right to be heard. See? Now, last month, two men walked out of here right after the public comment, after they made the public comment. So they didn't get to hear, they did not hear what I had to say, you see. You take away from, and there was other people didn't hear. So by doing that, you're taking away what is ours. And it's just like the money. It's just like we're missing understanding about these things. So I would admonish you to have the public comment again. I'll ask you to do that. Yes, it gets a little bit vocal. I understand. Sometimes maybe we shouldn't do what we do. We're all prone to that. Having said that, I would hope you would reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hoover.
Hi folks, my name is Ray Hoover. I'm the Public Engagement Manager for Apex. I'm sure you've heard from a few of us.
I can't hear you. You got to speak up.
My name is Ray Hoover. I'm the Public Engagement Manager for Apex Clean Energy. We're working on Coles Wind. Here tonight to talk about the ordinance. My first meeting with Coles County was actually the passage of the ordinance last fall. So I've been to quite a few kind of board meetings since then, and we're right back where we started. So I wanted to say a couple words on that. First, we've been here for years and trying to make sure that we're developing relationships in the county. And I think one of the important factors I wanted to communicate here is that we're designing our project around the standards that we worked with you last year on. The county board passed the ordinance in October, and this ordinance that you're going to be passing, because of the state requirements, are going to be more lenient. We're going to honor the ordinance that was passed last year. That's what we've been building towards, and I think that's what we'd like to do. The other thing, in working with the county and trying to be a good partner, we try to show up and make our voices heard about building a good ordinance and trying to make sure that that works. And I just wanted to clear up, I think there was some misconceptions, so I just wanted to say that we've been active and involved in the process, hoping to be a partner with you. And I hope everyone understands that our goal was to avoid legal action, some of the suggestions that we wanted to make around the ordinance language. I think for us, it's a $400 million investment in the county, and we wanted to protect that, and the goal is just certain stable legislation. That's what we're looking for, and so that's why we've been involved in the process and trying to work with folks on that. So we're eager to see an ordinance passed today. I think the last thing I wanted to make comments about is that we also have been communicating with staff on some FAA requirement language in the ordinance. and it's a small change. And so the suggestion for us was the current language is all determinations of no hazard to air navigation from the FAA. The old language was the applicant for the WEX shall comply with all applicable FAA requirements. So some of the other ordinances that happen around the state and having middle ground is a permit application.
Mr. Gruber, you have 30 seconds.
A permit application filed with the Federal Aviation Administration. Basically, this is it's more of a middle ground between the old ordinance that you passed and the new one currently being talked about. Language is more stringent than Coles County's previous ordinance and would still require a filing with the FAA before the permit application, but doesn't require us to go through 6 to 8 extra months for the project. I have some notes on that when we get to that part of the conversation. Thank you very much.
Mr. Perry.
I think you can see the anger from what's happened. And Mr. Danley, I'm going to ask you, if you knew all this stuff was wrong to begin with, why did you continue down the road? Because you know as a law, you're the long arm of this county board. You knew what was going on. You could read the law. Why did this thing continue going down the road? And you're going to find out that what you're going to end up uncovering is not going to be pretty. And I think you know it. There's one thing that the board can do to redeem itself. And this comes not from being angry, but you all know that there's a problem right now down in the tax assessor's office because we've got Lafayette Township that only got 25% reassessed and 75% of it didn't. We also have it out at Paradise Township to where 67% got reassessed and 30 whatever didn't. 33% didn't. What happens is, and you got to understand this, it doesn't take a mathematical genius to figure it out. If you're only assessing 25% of the total 100% in a quadrennial year, that means the numbers cannot be correct. They can't be correct. And I don't care how you dish it out or think it's going to be correct, it's not. Same way, 3367, it's not correct. And you can redeem yourselves tonight because what you need to do is kill the multiplier and make it done right. You've got the power to tell her to kill the multiplier because all that's going to happen is the numbers are going to tumble into something more stupid than what you've ever seen before. And I get angry because you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you've got the power to make things change. If you want to fix it, it's one thing. But if you lollygag around and let this thing go just like this other thing's went since 2016, I'm really ashamed of all of you. So use your power, tell her to stop it, take the multiplier off, get it right, get her taxes where they need to be. Does anybody not understand the message? Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Kraft.
I've got 3 things. First, I know Apex mentioned something about passing of the wind ordinance tonight. I don't see a wind ordinance on there for any action. It's under committee report, it just says wind ordinance. It doesn't say approve wind ordinance like you got to approve your bills. So I'm asking you to put it properly on an agenda and vote on what's on the agenda properly. It's clearly under committee reports, not under action of the board. The second thing is consider videotaping and live streaming all of your meetings. Edgar County's been doing it for years. Shelby County just started doing it. DuPage County does it. Will County does it. Lots of other counties do it, and it doesn't cost that much. I think Shelby County might have invested $3,000 or $4,000 in equipment, a camera, a microphone, a tripod, and a streaming device. It's that simple. You just plop it up, turn it on, and hit go. It goes straight to Facebook or YouTube or wherever you want it to go. If you want to go to your webpage, it'll go to your webpage. So please consider doing it. It's a service to the public. And last, I want to talk about the First Amendment. Granted, the First Amendment is not absolute, but on the other hand, you can't stop somebody in public comment from saying things that you don't like being said. That includes curse words, as long as they're not fighting words. If somebody wants to say, for example, damn it, there's nothing you can do. This is not a sanctity of a courthouse during a public meeting. It's a public meeting. If somebody wants to use curse words, however bad that may be, you cannot stop them. And if you do stop them, you're violating their First Amendment rights. So, Chairman, I would ask you to reconsider gabbling somebody for using a curse word, unless, they're typical fighting words, and I'm sure the state's attorney can tell you what fighting words are.
You have 30 seconds.
I'm done. I don't need it. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm just going to piggyback on some of the stuff that James talked about. I would encourage every board member to get copies of the deposition transcripts, because I can tell you what I've read so far makes me sick. It really does, because people have lied, and the videos prove it, and it's absolutely disgusting, the volume of lies and misrepresentations that have taken place, and the deposition speaks volumes. They really do. They expose everything that these folks have been talking about for the last several years. There's a simple way to fix that case. Now, I haven't been to the last couple meetings, or at least the last meeting. I don't know if your legal counsel that's handling that case has asked you to go into closed session and get briefed on litigation. I don't know if they've done that. They should be doing that. You should be apprised as to what's going on in that case. And the way to close that case out and stop all these legal bills that are happening because of it is acknowledge that what happened was wrong. Because that's what the evidence supports, and that's going to be probably the summary judgment motion. But an agreed, enter into an agreement with the opposing side as to what happened, it was wrong, that's it. They're not asking for penalties, they're not asking for damages. They want an admission that what was done is wrong. And what better way than a new board to be able to say, you know what, looking at everything, it was wrong. Because I can assure you, when you're done reading the deposition transcripts that I've read, those people should, well, I won't say what they should be. We don't have any oak trees out here anymore. But years ago, they've been tarred and feathered because they flat lied to the public. Not once, not twice, but over and over and over and over. It's wrong. And I've seen some crazy wrong in public bodies, but this one takes the cake. Because I've stood in here and been told one thing, and now the videos under oath, or the depositions under oath say something completely different. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Stop the bleeding of the legal bills. I don't know what it's up to now. It's thousands. Stop the bleeding of it. Enter into an agreement that, hey, what the prior board did was wrong. Close this thing out with an agreed judgment and be done with it. Because summary judgment is just going to be that much more expense. And the law firm that's handling it, they don't mind.
You're only at 30 seconds.
It's billable hours. They don't care. They want to drag it on as long as they can. Even if it goes clear to a final, here's the judgment, which if it doesn't get granted at summary judgment, it'll go to a trial. That's thousands that doesn't need to be spent. And you can avoid it by simply reading the transcripts, reading the filings, and realize, yep, these folks were lied to. I ask you to do the right thing. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I say something, please?
Sure.
James, if you remember, when this was started, I was totally against it. That was my very first board meeting. And I was walking into it new, didn't know really anything about it. But what I was hearing, it just wasn't right. And I would have been begging for Bob Becker to come in here for several years like you, and he never did. I think he came once, but he didn't talk much. But if you remember right, I voted, I mean, I didn't like it.
What would you do about it?
I'm just one person.
Doesn't have to
Yeah,
do
you
about
still
it.
feel
But
that
I'm
way?
telling you,
One
hang on a
person
second.
can start a law.
I'm just one person, I'm getting gay for saying the word damn, but everyone's okay here with public people lying to us for 7 years.
But,
If I say the word damn, and I'm this cussing
well,
bad guy,
okay.
give me a break. Everyone here said words worse than damn. I've heard it out of your mouths.
But I was against it, and I believe you remember.
Did you ever file a motion to do anything to fix it? Any agenda item at all?
I was informed by legal counsel.
That doesn't answer the question.
I'm just telling you.
I understand.
So how do you feel about it? You still feel that way?
I know, what?
Do you still feel the way that you just spoke of? That you
Always
were against it?
did.
Today, you still feel that you're against it? Is that correct?
Pardon me?
You're saying today, you still feel that you're against it,
Yeah,
like you did the first week?
yeah. I stood up, I was the only one in here that stood up and said, hey, this ain't right. Something's wrong here.
Rick, do you remember one of the first meetings, I think you were at, maybe you weren't? I said to Corey Sanders, answered the question, I said, is it okay, or is it right, for public officials to lie to the public? And Corey said, of course not. And I said, that's exactly what's happening here. And it's taken us 7 years, and the county's had to use our own tax money against us just to prove, it's going to be proven, that what we were saying all along was right. And these people got away with lying all those years. Are you guys okay with that? Are you okay with that?
No.
Do something about it.
And thousands of dollars spent.
So show, yeah, 30 seconds, unless you're.
Thousands of dollars of our money, our money.
He's got 30 more seconds.
I just want to let you know that if you remember right, I did stand up and say, hey, something's wrong here. This ain't right.
Well, if I
And I was a
if
freshman.
I was in your position, I would be doing a heck of a lot more than just saying it's wrong.
Time's up.
I'm done.
Next on the agenda is approval of minutes. Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Friesland, the second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dowdy. Roll call.
Friesland,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Hardy, Show,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Corey, abstain. Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. Next is appointments. There are 4 applicants for 2 positions on the Board of Review. Normally, I would appoint 2 with your advice and consent. I thought I would open it up for discussion rather than me dictating who's going to sit on the Board of Review. So if there's no discussion, I'll make an appointment, or 2 appointments. But is there any discussion on any of these 4?
Any of the 4
Applicants.
Mr. Chairman, I can comment. One of the persons is from my district in Lafayette Township, has just gone through this most recent tax assessment, has dug into things. I've talked to him 3 or 4 times. Seems to be level-headed, understand things, willing to understand. I believe him to be a fair-minded person. I don't know if that's not trying to endorse anyone, but he is from my district.
And that is Mr.
I'm sorry, Brandon Stewart.
Thank you. We do these appointments together or separately?
I do it separate,
Separately?
please.
Mr. Chairman, some of them are wanting to know where the actual appointment, the names, are they listed?
Your bios should be on the,
Okay.
your bios, all your bios.
Got it.
Paul Daly, Brandon Stewart, Pete Shanks,
Brad Weir.
Brad Weir,
And
Douglas Paulson.
Doug
We're not seeing Stewart.
Stewart,
Exactly, he's not
sent to me the same day that I'd already put out, so.
Page 6?
I think it got stuck in there. Brenda Stewart?
Yeah, he's in there.
Okay, thank you. I had to call and see if you could get, that was on Thursday after I was all finished.
Oh, I don't have them in mind, for some reason.
Is there any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not only personally, but I tried to Google all up and get some information about them. I was impressed with the peach eggs. Seems to know years of county, he's an insurance broker.
Okay, I'll make the appointment of Mr. Stewart first. So vice
How
consent.
would, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, please, how would you, I know this probably don't make any difference, but how would they be?
That should be considered,
That's
not consideration.
Why not?
it's only.
Age discrimination, I would object to any conversation about that, I think we've already done that.
I
It's not.
wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
Age is not a qualification. So with the vice consent of the board, I will appoint Mr. Stewart. Roll call.
Friesland,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. And with advice and consent of the board, I will appoint Mr. Shanks. Roll call.
Friesland,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. I have one appointment to the Drainage District number 12, Humboldt. One applicant, Floyd Miller, until September of 2025. With advice and consent of the board. Is there any discussion?
I have a question about that. He's the only one I have a question about, and I'm trying to determine, it does not appear that he lives in Coles County. He has farmed, but he mentions living in District 1 and 13 of, is it Shelby County? I've had it up there.
The drainage districts overlap county lines.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what county you live in.
As long as he lives in that drainage district, I believe.
Well, he doesn't.
And I'm not,
He said he does not live in the.
That's correct, but he's also reappointed, so if he was appointed erroneously previously, or he's eligible to be reappointed.
Yeah, his first sentence says, second, I don't own land in that location.
feel free to vote no.
Can't be a
So with advice and consent of the board,
So,
roll call.
Friesland,
No.
Jacob,
yes.
Mason,
No,
Hardy,
I'd like to know more about it first. So,
there doesn't seem to be anybody willing to say anything more about it.
so I think I'd better just abstain until I know more.
Shook,
No.
15 years.
Watts,
No.
Bennett,
No.
Clayton,
No.
Corey,
No.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
No.
Cox.
Yes. Vote yes.
Failed.
8 noes, 3 yeses, 1 abstaining.
Next one is one appointment to Majors Drainage District, Ronnie Hill, until September of 2025. Any discussion? I'll appoint Mr. Hill with advice and consent of the board. Roll call.
Friesland,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
is that a yes, thank you. Shook,
Yes.
Watts?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Doty?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes. Have one appointment to the Sheriff's Merit Commission, Chad Reed, until April of 2030.
Before I vote, I have a question for Sheriff Martin. Is it, given that this is the Sheriff's Merit Commission, is that a commission that everyone thinks ought to have law enforcement people on it, either exclusively or primarily? Or is that a commission where your goal would be to have people who are not part of the system to be in that, or at least partially?
We have a mixture of both.
You do? Would you say it's kind of a balanced, or just that it's?
Very dispatched.
Okay, thanks.
Any other discussion? I'll appoint Mr. Reed with advice and consent of the board. Roll call.
Friesland?
Yes.
Jacob?
Yes.
Mason?
Yes?
Purdy?
Yes.
Shook?
Yes.
Watts?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Doty?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes. And one appointment to the County Airport Authority, Bill Rasmussen, until May of 2028. This is a reappointment. Any discussion? No discussion. I will appoint him with advice and consent of the board. Roll call.
Friesland?
Yes.
Jacob?
Yes.
Mason?
Yes.
Purdy?
Yes.
Shook?
Yes.
Watts?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Doty?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes. Committee reports. Building and Grounds Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Building and Grounds Committee met on April 24th, 2023. The Building and Grounds Committee met at 5:10 p.m. with the following members in attendance: Rick Shook, Nancy Purdy, and Bob Bennett, Chair. Tad Friesland and Gail Mason were unable to attend. Also attending was Lisa McMichaels, Administrative Assistant. Maintenance update was none. Old business, Mr. Simpson, who was unable to attend, provided an email to the members of the progress of the windows. He stated the installation and trim finishing is going well. The window company will be coming in to make adjustments as needed. The purchase of new blinds will be looked into, as some of the old blinds will not work in the new window frames. He added the roof repairs needed at the Public Defender's Office will be started soon. He also mentioned looking into cardboard recycling for the courthouse and jail. There was no new business, no miscellaneous business. We adjourned the meeting at 5:33 p.m. with a motion by Mr. Shook and a second by Ms. Purdy.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Cooperative Extension Board, Ms. Corey.
There was no meeting.
Thank you. Oh, don't sit down. County Office and
Oh,
Rules.
yeah. All right, so the County Office of the Rules Committee was called to order at 4:32 p.m. on May 1, with the following members present: Nancy Purdy, Lisa Jaco, Jeremy Dowdy, and Mike Clayton, and Denise Corey, Chair. Also attending were Denise Shores, Assessor, Treasurer George Edwards, Board members Mike Watts, Gail Mason, and Lisa McMichaels, Administrative Assistant. Ms. Shores reported that the final multiplier is 1 for the tax cycle. There was no old business, no new business, and under miscellaneous business, Ms. Shores continued to provide the members with statistics and other information regarding her office. She had many handouts, including a quarter review statistics report and a 2022 sales from the state listing, which is attached. She and the members discussed the township assessor's duties as well, and no action was taken. The meeting adjourned at 5:17 p.m. on a motion by Mr. Dowdy and a second by Ms. Jaco.
Thank you. Next up is Education, Ms. Jacob.
There was no meeting.
Thank you. Emergency Food and Shelter Board, Mr. Dowdy.
There was a meeting and I was not able to attend it, but I think it was just of recipients of the grant.
Thank you. Emergency Telephone System, Mr. Shook.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a meeting Thursday just for a little while, And I thought I'd let you folks know that we passed out some plaques for some of our dispatchers. They've been doing a really, really good job. And we appreciate all the hard work and the overtime that they put in and all that. Since COVID, we didn't have any rewards ceremony for anybody, anything like that. So in 2021, David Crozier was awarded top dispatcher in 2021. Margaret Hawkins was nominated for award in 2022. And the director report is that our director, 91 Center, is a person that he thinks should have a reward for a good year that the person did and all that. And this person would be Grace Finley. And I'd just like to say, Mr. Chairman, you're doing a wonderful job. It's a tough job, and we all know it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next is the Finance Committee. Finance Committee was called to order at 5:20 p.m. with the following members present: Lisa Jaco, Nancy Purdy, Mike Watts, Mike Clayton, and Darrell Cox, the chairman, presiding. Also attending were Treasurer George Edwards, State's Attorney Jesse Danley, Kelly Lockhart from Regional Planning, Board Member Gail Mason, and Lisa McMichaels, Administrative Assistant. Treasurer's report, Mr. Edwards reported to the members that taxes should be coming in later this week. No old business. New business. Mr. Danley shared with the members a letter submitted regarding new hires that will be added to his staff. He explained that while his budget will be able to cover the salaries for fiscal year 23, he will be requesting an increase for fiscal year 2024 budget to sustain these salaries for the future. No action was taken. Mr. Edwards explained to the committee that the Public Building Commission had not gone before the county board for dissolution. The state's attorney's office will be preparing 2 deeds, one for the jail and also one for the Regional Office of Education. No action was taken. A resolution to return unused ARPA funds in the amount of $4,610 from the EMA warning sirens account was presented to the members. Ms. Jaco motioned to forward this to the county board and was seconded by Mr. Watts. Motion carried, unanimous, 5 no nays. I will entertain a motion to return the unused ARPA funds.
Also
Motion by Mr. Watts, second by Ms. Purdy. Roll call.
Friesland,
yes.
Jaco,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. Committee was presented with a resolution to return unused ARPA funds in the amount of $776 from the Habitat for Humanity HVAC account. Ms. Jaco motioned to forward the resolution to the county board and was seconded by Ms. Purdy. Ayes, 5, nays, none. I'll entertain a resolution to return those funds.
I make that resolution.
A motion by Mr. Clayton, second by Ms. Jaco. Roll call.
Friesland,
Yes.
Jaco,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. The committee was also presented with a resolution for the extension of the audit of the circuit clerk. A motion was made by Mr. Watts to forward the county board. Mr. Clayton seconded. Unanimous. Ayes, 5, nays, none. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to.
Motion by Mr. Watts,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Jaco. Roll call.
Friesland,
Yes.
Jaco,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. Mr. Lockhart discussed with the members the use of remaining balance of the Windows project budget for the finishes needed to complete the project, such as blinds, painting, and window ceilings. A A motion by Mr. Watts was made for Mr. Lockhart to seek bids for the remainder of the project and was seconded by Ms. Purdy. Ayes were unanimous, 5, no nays. The committee was presented with a resolution for increasing land record fees for the county clerk's office. Do we need
Yeah, we need to remove it from the table.
to remove,
Before you make the motion for it to.
to remove the, what from the table? The land record
Yes,
fees?
the land record fees.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So,
It's all right.
I make the motion.
a motion by Mr. Dowdy to remove the, from the table, and a second by Ms. Purdy. Roll call?
Friesland.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Purdy.
Yes.
Shook.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Clayton.
Yes.
Corey.
Yes.
Doty.
Yes.
Dowdy.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. Now I've lost my place. The committee was presented with a resolution for increasing land record fees for the county clerk and recorder's office. Mr. Clayton motioned under protest to forward this to the county board. Ms. Purdy seconded under protest. Ayes were 5, nays were none.
What was the discussion?
Most of the funding is going to go to Cook County, but we have to do it because of state statute. We don't, within the portion that we would, how many funds we have this county general fund.
They gave us no choice.
Yeah.
What did you say? They gave us no choice in the matter.
Do you happen to know what percentage or portion does go to Cook County?
I do not.
Because it was.
I have a chart that I believe I gave to Lisa. It just shows the, they call it units, and Kelly may, I don't know. You don't, okay. Yeah, it just says Coles receives 30 units. I honestly don't know what that means. We just know we have to collect it.
But I didn't think it was a majority of the
It-
funds.
No. I'm under protest as well. I do have a choice, yeah. We can do some research, Nancy, if you want to come to my office.
I think when we discussed it before, when we decided it needed to be tabled,
No, that was her request, because she needed to get additional.
it needed, yes, we needed additional information because there was some concern of it.
Yes,
Among
the
different
dollar,
counties.
the county clerks were, of the 102 counties, the county clerks were not in agreement on whether or not we could also double the dollar that statute allows us or requires us to collect. Some clerks just made that assumption, and I did in the beginning because I was counseled that that's how it was going to go. But when I went back and did some research on it, and I think it's the consensus of most of the counties now, you can't just automatically collect that additional dollar without a new statute passing that. So for now, I may be back in front of you again asking for another dollar, but for now, I only felt comfortable requiring us to raise it to 9.
And this goes to Cook County?
No, it's called a rental housing fund. If you, any of you want the paperwork on it, it's called rental housing support fee. The majority of it does, which stands to reason Cook is a huge portion of it because it's a larger area, but I do have a chart here, a geographic breakdown by county. This is 2021, it's all I can find on it. But
Excuse me, just real quick, if you look back at the March 14th in the board book, March 14th, in the finance section, it should all be right there.
it looks like this.
It'll all be in there.
Yeah.
It was in the March meeting. Thank you.
Please come in and chat with me if you want to know more.
Any further discussion?
So we can vote yes under protest?
We need a motion?
You need a motion.
I make a motion under protest.
A motion by Mr. Brown. A second?
I will second it.
A second by Ms. Jacob. Roll call?
Friesland.
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Purdy.
Yes, under protest.
Shook.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Clayton.
Yes, under protest.
Corey.
Yes.
Doty.
No.
Dowdy.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. The members were also presented with one tax sale resolution. Ms. Jacob motioned to forward it to the county board and was seconded by Mr. Watts. 5 ayes, no nays. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
I will make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Jacob. Second.
I'll second.
Mr. Clayton.
Phrase one. Oh, did you? You can have it. Who'd you write down?
I wrote down Clay.
That's fine.
Clay. Leave it, Clayton?
Yes.
All right.
Roll call.
Friesland,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Corey, Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. Members were presented with resumes to review for the administrative assistant position to the county board. Ms. Purdy motion to table this action was seconded by Mr. Clayton. The committee scheduled a meeting for May 9th at 6 p.m. No miscellaneous business. The meeting adjourned at 6 p.m. on a motion by Mr. Watson was seconded by Mr. Purdy. Have to find health and safety. Oh, that's why I can't find it. No meeting. Insurance committee.
Mr. Chairman, I attended for Ms. Purdy. She wasn't able to go to Bloomington that day. The quarterly meeting for several was held on April 20th at the Double Day in Bloomington. The co-op continues to be financially sound with 5% yield on its portfolio today for the year. There were no findings in the 2022 auditor's report. 3 new claims adjusters are coming on due to 2 retirements and 1 resignation, with additional information to be sent out about these individuals to the co-op members. 2 more executive committee members were elected to bring the committee up to a full complement of 7. The co-op continues to receive applications to join from other counties and municipalities. All applicants are fully vetted in terms of assets and liability before being brought to the executive committee for approval. However, it was announced that Sarah will continue to be governed by county members since representatives of municipalities cannot vote or serve on the executive committee per service charter. During the loss control report, Jonathan Wilson of Governor Bassett advised that all counties review their property values and update them due to the rise in the number of extreme weather events and resulting damage. Outdated insurance coverage has become more costly than ever. In the case of loss, and value plus 10% to cover replacement costs is often inadequate. He had also advised that counties have up-to-date redundancies for computer systems, telecom, emergency reporting, and similar systems, which our county is doing thanks to the work of Mark Harris, Jim Goldenberg, and people in Kelly Walker's office. So I think we've done that. Wilson also reported that jail wrongful death claims are up. It stated that CERMA can provide free assessment and training to help minimize problems in this area. And in terms of workman comp claims, injuries sustained in the apprehension of suspects is also on the rise, partially due to the aging of the workforce. And again, they can offer training to help perhaps reduce some of these incidents and resulting costs. The next meeting will be in July with the date to be announced.
Thank you. Liquor Commission. Coles County Liquor Control Commission was called to order at 10 a.m. with the following members present: John Doty, Gail Mason, and Darrell Cox, chairman. Also attending was Lisa McMichaels, administrative assistant. The members looked over several other county and city liquor ordinances. They also made changes and updates to the current liquor ordinances for Coles County. After reviewing and much discussion, Ms. Mason made a motion to forward to the county board only after a favorable approval of the state's attorney reviewing the ordinance. Mr. Doty seconded. Unanimous, 3, nays, none. And the meeting adjourned at 10:54 with a motion made by Ms. Mason, second by Mr. Doty. We have an updated ordinance that we forwarded to the board, correct, vote on tonight? What I might comment that we didn't classification of licenses, and we had a winery that's coming in that would like to be able to sell bottles of wine sealed, and they can take them off premises. Our current ordinance did not allow that. So we kind of picked and chose from other ordinances, and we added classes of licenses. Now, what we submitted is A, B, C, D, and E. And then we lowered the amount of the licenses from $1,500 to $1,000, with the exception of the per-day event. That was across the board. And we removed the food and liquor ratio, and we changed the Sunday morning purchase serving time from noon to 10 a.m. And in a nutshell, those are the changes that we submitted to the board for approval tonight.
I have a question about why was it the fee dropped $500?
Well, I felt like some of the fees were too high, and we thought other cities and other counties had lower fees than Coles County, and we really couldn't figure out what we were doing to earn that $1,500, and to, I guess in the spirit of promoting business, we're actually going to lower a fee in Coles County, hopefully.
And then changing the time to 10 from noon, that was to accommodate the one business so they could carry it off?
It wasn't to accommodate that so they could carry it off, but so they could serve liquor at 10 a.m. I believe that was the golf course.
The golf course.
Meadowview. And that is also, I think, almost all of the other ordinances we looked at, it was a 10 a.m. start time for serving alcohol in town and in the counties also.
But not on Sundays. Goes to noon on
Sundays.
On Sunday, this is what we're talking about, this is changing it to.
Our current ordinance is noon on Sundays, and we submitted a change to 10 a.m. on Sundays.
Oh, I thought it was a state law.
That way they can get drunk before you get out of church.
Yeah.
I thought it was state law. That you couldn't serve alcohol until noon.
So I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the updated ordinance.
Motion by Mr. Clayton, second by Mr. Doty. Roll call.
Friesland,
Yes.
Jacob,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes,
Purdy,
No.
Shook,
No.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
Abstain.
Cox.
Yes. Next is the mental health board, Mr. Friedman.
No meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Planning and Development Commission, Mr. Watts.
The Planning and Development Committee was called to order at 3:34 p.m. with the following members present: Mike Clayton, Darrell Cox, and Mike Watts, Chair, presiding John Doty, and Attorney Down, were able to attend. Also attending were Kelly Lockhart, Regional Planning, Rick Johnson, County Engineer, Rhonda Parker, State Attorney Paralegal, Board Member Gail Mason, and Apex Representative and Lisa McMartin, Administrative Assistant. For the IT update, phone service and semantic antivirus will be revisited at next month's meeting. GIS updates as well as finishing up partial fabric. Under old business, the committee continued to discuss the wind ordinance, specifically hearing factors, paragraphs A and B. Mr. Danley included his opinion on this matter. He attached, Apex Clean Energy is requesting changes to be made to the hearing factors. After much discussion with Ms. Parker and committee, Mr. Clayton motioned to strike from paragraph A the words moral and comfort. Mr. Cox seconded. The motion was 1 yes, 2 no, Clayton yes, Watts and Cox no, Doty and Dowdy absent. The motion failed. After more discussion, Mr. Clayton motioned to approve paragraph A as it is without striking any words. Mr. Cox seconded the motion. Ayes to Watts and Clayton, and nays 1, Cox, absent Doty and Dowdy. And the motion passed. Mr. Clayton then motioned forward the ordinance to the county board for approval with a second by Mr. Cox. And the vote was yes, 2, Clayton and Watts, nays, Cox, and absent, Doty and Dowdy. And so at this time, I'm going to make a motion that we approve the revised wind ordinance, revised to meet current state statute as was published in your board book.
Motion? Second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Doty. Any comment?
This is the FAA change.
No, and I want, if I could, Mr. Chairman, make a few comments. The FAA request was something that came in after the meeting, so we'll have to take
So
that
we
up
will not do
separately.
that now.
Yeah, we will take
We
that
will.
up in a minute. But I want to make clear that with the way the state statute has been written, these are maximum controls that we can put into the ordinance to protect all parties in the county. If we fail to pass an ordinance that aligns with the state statute, then we will have no controls locally. There will be no setback requirements. The only thing that will have to be approved are things that are built into the law, which is things like FAA approval, the agricultural mitigation issues, and the IDNR protected wildlife, specifically in parks and zoos. So as you consider your vote, I'd like you to think something like that. Yes.
On the draft that's in our board book, there's some strikeouts. Is that Mr. Danley's suggestions?
Well, there's one page that has to do with, let me back up. There was a workshop held by the County Board Association in Springfield that Mr. Lockhart and Ms. Parker attended, which advised counties on both the ordinance and hearing protocol. And so Apex had asked us to make some changes in the hearing protocol, but after discussion, that's what the committee decided not to make those changes, and on the advice of Mr. Danley to leave it as written. And so that's what you see at this time. Any other questions about that particular issue?
With the wind tunnels and all this stuff, when they get them up and all that, and all the energy that they provide, we don't get it, it's bootlegged out, right?
At this
Coast
point,
County don't get none of that.
at this point, my understanding is no, but it's going to hook up to the grid so it can be sent anywhere. It depends upon how the contracts are written. That's my understanding.
If I may,
Yes.
we are just tonight voting on the ordinance, not whether a company can build a wind farm in Coles County. We are just voting on the ordinance.
That's correct. And within the ordinance, then, it does include the language that was developed to govern the hearing, public hearing process, which is part of the licensing process. Then, Ms. Furry, you asked a question about the FAA wording. At this point, could I ask Mr. Daly, do you have anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, on that specific
The
issue,
FAA wording,
response,
yeah.
I don't have anything to add. I was involved in it was brought to my attention, I think, late last week, you agreed, Mr. Watts, as far as the difference between approval of, based on the preliminary report as opposed to a 6-month more permanent report. My initial opinion was that from a state agency, we don't give opinions unless they are, in fact, based on evidence, hopefully. And the FAA was no different. So I voiced a brief opinion, and I put it down, but I don't have anything more to add on that as far as that technical issue. I guess we had no discussion on the LaSalle Sinclair factory. Sorry. Mr. Watson.
Well, I want to cut off the discussion about the hearing issues, but, so are there any other questions about the hearing factors which is what the initial pretext question has to do with? Objection? No?
And do you think this is the strong of the ordinance which protects the county?
Yes, I think the committee has done the very best they can with the new statute.
Okay, let me read what Apex has submitted regarding the FAA approval. And the reason they asked for the change in language is that if they are required to get approval from FAA before submitting the application for a license, that'll hold the process up 4 to 6 months. And then in talking with Mr. Lockhart and in consultation with Mr. Daly, that we can make the change that they requested because in terms of procedural activity, it won't actually change how the application goes forward. Is that correct?
I agree with that response.
Okay. So in that case, if I could amend my motion, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know if this is a point of order, but if I may, Mr. Chairman? I was having trouble hearing, just for clarity for the public, I'm not commenting on it. Can I ask a question about it?
Sure.
So did you say, and just if you can clarify, did you say if no ordinance is passed by the county, then I couldn't make out.
Then there are no, okay, this is what I was given. According to Andrew Hoyt Royster, if a county does not take action, it will not have any siting criteria, no setbacks, for example, to govern potential wind or solar projects within their jurisdiction. So it would only be the things that have to do with the agricultural mitigation, FAA rulings, the impact on park and public wildlife preserves. Everything else then would be no control. They could build a tower right next to your house and you have nothing to say about it. That's
They doesn't provide a setback
There-
here at all?
It's either comply with the law or you have no controls. Yeah, that's just the way the statute's written.
Thank you.
Sure. So to go back to the issue regarding the FAA qualifications for our language, I'm going to ask that where the ordinance reads, all determinations of no hazard to air navigation from the Federal Aviation Administration be changed to the applicant for the WAC shall comply with all applicable FAA requirements. And that a permit application filed with the Federal Aviation Administration instead of having it to be approved.
So we'll be voting on just that language?
No, what I'm
Or
doing
the
is
entire
I'm asking that I amend my motion to change this specific language so that the ordinance will include that. It'll substitute what we have for what Apex has requested, which has been approved by the council.
So your motion is going to be on the new language?
Including the language, yes.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'm sure I've got a question, just, I'm still kind of,
I know, I understand.
I have to have it clear in my mind what I'm voting on. So is A and B will be in there,
Yes, A and B will.
but it's going to, the language of the A and B is going to change to, no,
No, that has to do with the hearing.
okay?
What the most recent request change has been in the actual application process, it's in the ordinance. Not the hearing part, but the ordinance itself.
So the application part, you're talking at the beginning of the ordinance?
Yeah, and I don't have that, do you know the specific citation?
Is section E, number 4, under special use permit application. It's on the 5th page of the ordinance from the company.
It's taking me a minute to get there.
Say again, section?
Section B, number 4.
All determinations of no hazard to air navigation from the Federal Aviation Administration.
That's That's it. And so we would replace that with that the applicant for the WAC shall comply with all applicable FAA requirements. That's the change. Thank you.
But was it the recommendation of our council that we hired out of Streeter to keep?
That's my use for
That's room.
Those, that's.
That's something different.
That's something a little different. We provided advice on this.
So what was said about it is, and I think the gentleman from APEX said that it would cost them 6 to 8 months to
46.
get
Yes,
specific determinations from the FFA, and we're saying they can go get those determinations after the application has been filed. I don't quite understand.
They submit it simultaneously, if I understand.
Okay.
And they still have to meet the requirements.
So, okay, so basically, it's just a matter of getting it done faster.
Right.
And if I'm correct, if we vote no, then it is a situation where we don't have an ordinance, but that doesn't mean that wind turbines can't come into our county.
No, the state statute is written in a way that no county can exclude wind or solar farms from any of the counties.
So we could actually have farmers who didn't really want one and it got put next somewhere because we didn't have an ordinance.
Yeah, the way our ordinance reads, it has setbacks that are based on tower height.
Right.
If you, for instance, don't want to participate, but Nancy does, then you're protected by a specific distance that the tower can be built from your domicile or from your property line, depending upon which is applicable in the siting process.
And if we didn't do
Then
that,
she could build it right next to your property line.
yeah.
I guess my question is, can we just vote on the ordinance without your added amendment?
I guess you'd have to vote down my request for change of language and then vote on it, because I've amended my motion. I'm not the parliamentarian here, but that's my
So,
understanding.
yes, and we have a motion for the amended ordinance.
So the amended ordinance, with this one change.
I'll entertain a second for that motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Doty. Any further discussion?
And again, we're voting for the ordinance with the amended language.
Correct.
All together.
Correct. The amended language is regarding the FAA before or after the permit process.
I have no idea whether this will pass or fail, but if it fails, will we have the opportunity to vote on one that's published in the board book?
Yeah, you can make a motion.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Friesland,
Yes.
Jacob,
No.
Mason,
Yes?
Purdy,
Yes.
Shook,
No.
Watts,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Clayton,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes,
did you say yes?
I did.
Thank you. Doty,
Yes.
Dowdy,
No.
Cox.
Yes.
9-3. Yes, 9 yes.
Under new business, there was no miscellaneous business, no public comment. Tom Sherman did, I want to also publicly thank Tom Sherman for showing up and bringing continual things to our attention that we're going to need to address going forward. The meeting adjourned at 4:26 p.m. with a motion made by Mr. Cox and seconded by Mr. Clayton.
Thank you, Mr. Watts. Looks like Public Health Board, Mr. Dowdy.
There will be a meeting on Tuesday, a week from today. I do do want to let you, Mr. Chairman, know that also as the chairman of the Health and Safety Committee, there will be one seat open. Someone is resigning or not letting their term stand, so we should have one appointment for July 1. So that comes through the Health and Safety Committee. Of course, you make that appointment. I didn't know, I might have emailed you that, but
You did.
they discussed that.
Yes. Thank you. Road and Bridge Committee, Mr. Doty.
No meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Senior Citizens Tax Levy Committee, Ms. Purdy.
No meeting.
Sheriff and Law Enforcement Committee, Ms. Purdy.
The Sheriff and Law Enforcement Committee was called to order on May 3rd at 5:04 p.m. with the following members present: Rick Shook, Mike Clayton, Bob Bennett, Gail Mason, and Denise Fortier. Also attending were Sheriff Kenton Martin and Lisa McMichael as Administrative Assistant. Sheriff Martin reviewed the April reports with the members. They're attached to the board book. Discussion followed, and we usually talk about food costs since that's kind of an issue these days, but food costs have continued to be maintained and on budget. In old business, Sheriff Martin continued discussion with members regarding out-of-state and long-distance transports. He added that transports must be approved through either himself or the chief deputy, especially with special circumstances. He added that 5 corrections officers will be graduating this last Friday. Another 5 have not attended the academy yet. However, they will be attending from July 10th through September 1st, and that Lexipol is still running very well. There was no new business, and under miscellaneous business, we discussed the fact that due to scheduling conflicts, there won't be a meeting in June. We will meet if anything important comes up. We'll just call a special meeting with plenty of advance notice. And we will, I think the sheriff's going to still provide the reports to us so we can review them and ask them questions. No public comment. And the meeting adjourned at 5:34 p.m. Motion by Mr. Bennett and seconded by Mr. Clayton.
Thank you. Supplies and Claims Committee, Mr. Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The members of the Supplies and Claims Committee reviewed the bills and approved them to be paid, and I so move.
Second. Would you like to second that one? No.
I second.
Second by Mr. Clayton. Roll call.
Friesland.
Yes.
Jaco.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes?
Purdy.
Yes.
Shook.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Clayton.
Yes.
Corey.
Yes.
Doty.
Yes.
Dowdy.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes. WIOA Committee, Ms. Purdy.
The next meeting will be in June.
Any old business? Any new business?
Mr. Chairman, may I? I'd just like to say to you, Lisa, we all sure do thank you for everything, for what you've done for all of us and all that, especially for me too. And I just want to say thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Any miscellaneous business? Any executive session? Have an announcement of an appointment to Lincoln Fire Protection, next meeting. And remarks from the chair. I do have one remark. I received a letter of commendation. I won't read necessarily the letter of commendation, I'll read the letter that came with it. It's, as a former longtime county official and leader, this is from Gary Twist of Mesa, Arizona. I wanted to pass along to you a letter of commendation for one of your appointed department heads. Denise Shores has exemplified outstanding public service while working in a challenging public environment. I've worked with many chief county assessment officials during my career, but Shore's performance during the 2022 assessment year is one of the 10 best I've witnessed. He states that he wouldn't be able to attend, and that's why he mailed this. If you would like to see the letter, I will leave it in the county board office for your review. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that.